Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Okay, so we are back with part 2 of our Color Along in Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford. Last week, just to recap, we did just well, first of all, we're doing the kitchen page, and last week we did just this little section here, and I assigned the rest of the bottom and the top to you guys for homework. Now we left these flowers blank. We left the butterflies blank. Words, you guys, they're very hard. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And then for me, I'm leaving these blank because I'm going to do them metallic. But if you didn't want to do them metallic, then I gave you the option to just use one of these other color combinations. And then I left the middle of these orange ones green because we're going to add some Nouveau drops or some of this gold, but probably this one. Okay, so today we are going to do, last week I asked if you guys wanted to do the background in the floor or the cabinets in the stove. I had one person answer that question. They wanted to do the cabinets in the stove, so that's what we're doing today. We are tackling this page. I know I shouldn't have did that because this is probably going to smear a little bit. They don't smear as much as the Prismacolors, but if you leave your hand on them long enough, they will. But I have like a little scrap paper, so don't worry. I know someone said this page is like super detailed, and it is. But if you think about it, we've already got the background done. And then today, we're going to have these cabinets and stove done. And then next week, we'll probably tackle the background, the floor, and the rugs. And then all we have left is a little bits and bobs. That's it. And we'll do those last. You know, and it shouldn't be too hard because most of this stuff is like, you know, these are oranges or you can make them apples. We got a lot of glass jars down here. We can kind of use the same color combo for the glass jars. We have, you know, pots and pans, spoons. We can use basic colors for those. And then we have stuff like canned tomatoes and potatoes and wheat bags and stuff. So it shouldn't be, you know, it's not as hard as we think it is. It's not as crazy. So we are going to, I'm going to move the book and zoom you in. So I have some options for you guys. So for the cabinets and stove, these are the colors that I'm going to use, but I'm giving you some options. So you can also do them in this nice, and all the colors I think will go pretty well with our border. So you can do them in this color, and you can kind of put it up against either way, you can put it up against the border and kind of look at it. And then I have this one here, the cabinets and the stoves and stuff. They're a little bit darker. The cabinets will be red. Where the cabinets are blue, they will be red. Where the wood grain is this color, they would be this color in the stove, and so on and so forth. And then we have this nice greenish. And I had in mind that this was kind of like a country kitchen. So I picked out some colors that kind of reminded me of a country kitchen. So that's where these color combos came from. So I'm going to hold them up to the screen so you can see them. And remember, we're using our polys. If you're using something different, then go ahead and match it best as possible. It's probably a little glare because I used the back side of last week's. So this is the one I'm using. So if you're doing the same color as me, this is what we're following along with today. This is the second option. And I hold it up for a little bit. And this is the third option. and then I added white in this one because you want this earth green to be really, really light, and then you're going to use the white to blend them all together. So that's why that white is there. Okay, so that's the red one again. All right, and I went to work, you guys, yesterday, and let me tell you, my foot is more on fire than it was, and I think I caught a cold. So if that wasn't telling me to stay home yesterday and stay home, I don't know what is. But anyway, so let me get the Prismacolor chart out so that I can show you guys what we're gonna start over here in the corner with this little cabinet over here. Now, I think I want that cabinet to be, so what we're gonna do is, actually, let's start with this one, because this one's gonna be a little different. So, I'm bringing out my light cobalt turquoise and cobalt green. Now, if you're using Prismacolor, the closest thing to light cobalt turquoise I can think that the Prismacolor would have, I'm looking at the blues, and I'm gonna have to say either the electric blue. It might look a little different on camera, but the electric blue is probably pretty close. I would say the non-photo blue, but that might be a little too blue. So I'm thinking electric blue for your light cobalt turquoise substitute, and light aqua for the cobalt green. That's what I'm thinking for the Prismacolor. And then for light yellow ochre, you can use, leaning towards goldenrod for that one. Yeah, that's probably the best match, in my opinion. If you think, if you know a better match, then match it as best you can. Brown ochre, you can go ahead and use, maybe, let's see, what, I want to say, you really might not even, okay, let me see, goldenrod. They don't really have one that kind of looks like brown ochre, so I'm going to say you go ahead and use maybe a light umber. But I would say use it kind of light, although that's kind of a darker brown. So what you can do is you can do yellow ochre in the Prismacolor. So we'll make this a little lighter. We'll do yellow ochre, and that can replace the light yellow ochre that we're using. And then you can go goldenrod, which would replace the brown ochre. And then for bistre, or whatever color this is supposed to be, then for that one you can use your light umber. And then for cold gray 2 and 3, go ahead and use cool gray 20% and cool gray maybe 50. So 50 will be for the cool gray 3, and you can use either 30% or 20% for cool gray 2. Okay, now, and excuse the sniffing, you guys. I'm telling you, the cold came out of nowhere. Okay, so let's get into this. We're gonna do this cabinet here first. So just lightly, the parts that I want to be blue, I'm just gonna go over it really light layer. Just get in there. And I'm kind of moving in between the tripod too, so I hope I don't knock the camera like I always do, but you guys know I will. It's okay. light layer around this whole thing here. How many of you guys actually like finished your homework? I know some of you don't have the book yet, but you can always come back and rewatch the video later. It isn't going anywhere. But for those of you that do have your book, have you finished your homework, or are you just waiting to see the other parts so you can color it all at once? Now I'm going to take cobalt green, and this is going to be like our shadow color. So I'm going to put a little bit underneath here, and I'm still using light pressure just so I can see where I want the colors. I'm going to put a little bit on the right side of this cabinet. And then I'm going to put, of course, some underneath here because I feel like the top of this cabinet sticks out a little bit. So I'm going to put some under there. And also a little bit on the side of this drawer here. Both drawers, actually. Just to show a little bit of depth. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the top of this drawer. Just a little. All right, so you should have some underneath here on the side of the drawers, on the right side, and then a little on the top of this bottom drawer, just in case you can't see it really good on here. And then also some on the side, on the right side of this cabinet, connecting to the stove. And then once you kind of have it where you want it, you can go in with a little bit of medium pressure just to make it dark enough for you to see. If you can't see it, or if you're having a little bit of trouble seeing it, you can do it like that. And then I'm thinking, no, I won't put any on the bottom. Okay, so, and then come back in with your light cobalt turquoise. And still with light pressure, I'm just kind of blending it in a little bit where that line kind of is a little heavy with the other one. So I live in Vegas, if you guys didn't already know. And yesterday, now they said it was going to be windy, but what they didn't tell us was that it was going to be extra super windy. And they didn't tell us it was going to be cold. It was actually kind of cold yesterday. And it was very dusty. You couldn't see anything. And, you guys, if you don't know, I work at the airport. So I was getting calls on the radio, over the radio, about the wind moving the wheels of the planes that were docked to the jet bridge. And so a lot of the flights were canceled and delayed because the wind was too strong, and it was a very rough night last night. It was pretty rough. The lines were extra long. I had sent, if you guys know Coloring with T, or T's, I think it's T's coloring channel, or Coloring with T. You guys all know T. I had sent her a picture of the line for Frontier because in her stream the other night we were talking about how we don't fly Frontier because it's always some craziness with them. And so I sent her a picture of the lines, and they were like literally 1.5 miles long, and it was ridiculous in there last night. So I'm going back to cobalt green, and I'm just darkening it up a little. And I don't want to make it like super dark because, these are they're supposed to be light cabinets. I just don't want to lose the shadows. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going in, just making sure the shadows are still there. So we're still not using hard pressure. I'm barely even using, medium pressure. I'm just making sure the shadows are there. Okay. So that's all the blue I'm going to add to that one, because I want to come in with the brown here, and for the legs. So, let's see. Let's move over to, because I also want some blue on this one. So this cabinet, what we're gonna do is the outside of these doors here, and I apologize if you hear that dog barking. For once, it is not Mizu. This is a dog outside, and this same dog barks around the same time every day. And if he's not barking, or she, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, if it's not barking, it's crying bloody murder, and I don't know what's going on with that dog, because whenever I look out the window, I don't see it. So it's very strange. But anyway, so we're going to do the cabinet door. We're going to do this other cabinet door. And I've only partially planned out how I want these. I know I wanted that other cabinet that we just did to have some brown, and I also want this one to have some brown. So I just want to do these two first just to see about the other cabinets, because I don't know, you know, where exactly I want the brown and everything. So this also is going to be blue. Yep. So yesterday was, I really should have, and I had it in my mind to stay home yesterday, but I said, you know, I need to go make some money because I don't, you know, I can't just, we have bills, you know. So I caught myself going in, and it was mad chaos. Now Saturdays aren't usually like that, but for some reason, it was horrible yesterday. So I got firsthand of what it can look like on a Saturday, and I said, I'm so glad I don't work on Saturdays, and never again. There was a lot going on. People were sad. They were missing flights, and, you know, angry, and just all kinds of emotions were flying around that airport last night. And, you know, with flights being delayed and canceled and all the other works and whatnot, also came along with the bars and things like that being open later, which, you know, brought more chaos. It was crazy. So everything on this cabinet is going to be blue except for the inside of these drawers and the inside of the cabinet doors. So even the countertop part is going to be blue. I debated on making this brown, but I'm going to make it blue. And I know with this cabinet being so blue that I'm going to, the cabinet next to it will be brown. So also on the inside of this cabinet, I'm going to add some blue because I will hope that it's the same color. So not the shelving part. So we're going to skip over that little shelf. Just the back wall of the cabinet. That's also going to be blue. Okay. Now I'm coming in with our cobalt green. And I'm going to hit the inside of these cabinets, and I might bring in another blue actually, just to, you know, because it's dark. I assume it's kind of dark on the inside of the cabinet, so I might bring in another blue for that. So, and then also, let's see, I can do, well, this part here, this little thin strip is going to be cobalt green because that's kind of like, it's being lifted up from the base part. So that's going to be cobalt green. And I'm trying to see how I want exactly I can do like from coming in from insides and just have like the light coming like a shine going down. Or I can do, I think going up would be kind of weird. So let's do that. Let's have, because it's not much, you know, shadow or anything. So, or what we can do is we can have it go this way. We can have it coming from here like this. and getting lighter that way. And then, so all of this would be darker. We can have that like that. Let's see how that, yeah, that would look good. Okay, so, and this is why we do light layers, guys, so we can see, kind of see what it would look like before we do it. So that way, if we need to erase, if we don't like it, we can come in, you know, with a different color or go a different way before it's too dark and too late. And I can actually hear the wind outside kicking back up. It wasn't even supposed to be windy today. And here we are. And I skipped a little bit, if you guys, I'm trying to, is there a glare? Okay, so I skipped just a bit. I might leave that part kind of light, just so it can break it up and not have, you know, just so it can have some kind of texture and dimension to it, and it's not just flat color. So you can see we did like a little triangle L-shaped thing there, and then we did a tiny one here. But actually, I think I'm going to bring this all the way out because this bottle is right here next to this cabinet, so that would cast a shadow too. So this whole thing is going to be dark. And then since the bottle is right here, I'm going to bring just a bit of it up, and then that's it. So we have some, I will zoom in and I will show you. And it's okay, like I said, if you know, if the detail's too small and you just want to do one color, that's okay too. So let me zoom you in. So we have this little bit here, this little bit here, here, and then the inside of the cabinet. So that's what we have so far. Whoops, zoom out camera. Okay, that's cool, you can stay like that. All right, and then for this one, we know that it's a little dark under here because it's kind of underneath the cabinet. And then also we'll put a little bit on the side of this cabinet here. Just on the side where it connects the drawer, where the drawer and the cabinet kind of connects with the rest of the cabinet. We'll put some there. And underneath, just like we did with the other cabinet, we're going to put some underneath here because, again, I think that sticks out a little bit from the cabinet. And so where we have the blue, where I'm doing the blue, you want to, if you're doing a different color, like the reds or the, what's the other one, green, you would put them where we're putting the blue. And then I'm going to put some up here. So basically what we're doing right now is I'm going to add some here because this towel is kind of folding over. We're putting shadows where we think there would be shadows. That's all we're doing right now. This is only a 2-color combo, so, you know, it's not, you don't have to worry about 3 colors. This one's only 2. So just put the shadows where you think, you know, they should be. And I'm going to put some on the side of this drawer and also along the top. And again, just, you know, light to medium pressure, nothing crazy. And I think I'll put some a little bit down here just for some texture. I keep saying texture, but I'm sure that's not the word I'm looking for. Put some down here where this towel is at. And so for this cabinet, I'm going to put some here because the potato bag or the wheat bag is here. And I'll bring some here since the towel is right there. We'll just bring that down. Also, we'll bring some of this on the inside part of this cabinet. I don't know what you would call this little space. But we'll put some there and then we'll bring it down because this bag is next to this part too. And these cans, so we'll bring it up some. Although the cans probably won't cast that big of a shadow, but it still looks nice. So we're going to do it. If it looks nice, we do it. Let's see, where else should we add some? And then what we can do, instead of bringing in another blue, we can go in here with kind of like hard pressure and just bring in this color and make it darker, just so we don't have to add a third color, because then if we add a third color, we're probably going to have to add it to the shadows too. So if you don't want to do that, just come in with this with hard pressure, just like that. Just like that. So, and then we have to do some up here. So these jars are sitting on the cabinet. So let's add some underneath, some back here, some over here underneath. And then this cabinet is next to this one. So let's add some here too. Bring it out just a bit. And then there's this jar that's sitting on the cabinet, so we'll add some there. Let's see, where else? This whole towel kind of just sits there, so let's just add some. Yep, okay. Now that we got that done, we can come back in with our light one and just kind of blend it in, just lightly. Go ahead and just blend that color in for the cabinets. All the white spaces. And then if you don't want it to be any darker than this, you can come in with a white or a blender pen and go ahead and, I would say white, because we don't have a lot of layers on this one. So I would say come in with your white colored pencil and just go ahead and, after you add this light layer, come in with your white color pencil and go over it. I kind of like this. I'm glad I chose the blue. Let me know down in the comments what color combo you guys are going to choose. You know, I hope you're following along, but at the same time, I hope, you know, there's some variety and some, you know, different ones. I kind of want to see what you guys have in mind, because I'm hoping some of you will post it on Instagram, tag me, I mean. My Instagram is always down in the description of all my videos. And just kind of tag me with what, even if it's not finished yet, tag me with what you guys have so far, what you're working on, what color combo you're going to use. If you're doing something completely different and you're just coloring along with me, that's cool too. Just kind of want to see what you guys are working on while you're listening to me talk about, you know, nothing really. The randomness that goes on every day in my life. Okay, so that's that cabinet. It's kind of cute. And then if you want more layers, you can just keep going back and forth between the light and the dark. I probably won't do that on camera because we'll be here all day. We've already been here for 30 minutes and we're not even, you know. So I'm gonna bring in the browns now. Or actually, let's do the stove, just in case this video decides it wants to do what it does every single time lately. So we're gonna do the whole stove in this cold gray too. Gonna come in with a light layer, and I'll tell you the parts to leave that's not, we won't do. So we're gonna skip the handle. We're not gonna do the handle, and we're gonna skip the window with the pot. So don't color that part. Not yet. We will do that, but we're gonna skip that because I have a kind of an idea for that, but I need to practice and plan it before I just throw it at you guys, because I don't even know how it's gonna turn out yet. So for now, we're just gonna do the base part of the stove. We're gonna skip this grill thing down here too, because I don't even know what that is. So we're gonna skip that for now. I might make that a darker gray or something, but for now, just the stove. Okay, and then I just realized there's no like eyes on this stove either. It's just an oven. Actually, it's not even a stove, but it has 4 things here, and then it has some pots sitting up there, so I'm curious. Maybe it's one of those ones where the whole flat top is just, I don't know, but we're not gonna do that. Anyway, skip the buttons and the whole button area. Actually, skip that whole block. Unless you want it, of course, to be the same color. And then this background part, skip the flower, and I mean, you can color over it because it's just light gray, but skip, you know what I mean. Try not to color over the flower. The little leaf things is fine. We probably do those in metallic, but try not to color the little flower because I'm leaning towards either blue, like the rest of the stuff in the kitchen, or like one of these orange flowers around the border. So skip that for now as well. Okay. Now come in with your cold gray 3. This is where we will add our shadows. We're going to put some up here where she has these little dots at the top. And the stove is not going to be like a dark, too dark of a gray, you know. It's almost going to like fade into like a whitish gray, if that makes any sense. So you see how it kind of just fades down. Just getting in here, getting the white areas that I left behind. And then also down the sides, I think I'll bring it down. Okay, and then for this part, since it's further back here, I'm gonna put the shadows in the back, and I'm gonna bring it forward. Since there's no eyes on the stove, we're just gonna do that like that. It's a very strange kitchen. There's stove, there's, you know, the oven is a stove, but it has buttons for the stove top, and got stuff all on the ground, and it's a very interesting kitchen. It's, the more you look at it, the more it's like, what is going on here? Okay. So for this part, for the sides, I'm going to add some here on the side. This is where we'll have, I think, the shine in the middle. So we'll come towards the middle here of the stove for both sides and leave a little space. And we're going to blend that out. And then same thing here. Okay, and then also for this part, I'm gonna go across this whole thing here, and I'm gonna stop kind of in the middle like we did at the top layer. But for this one, I'm not gonna come all the way down on the sides. I'm just gonna come down a little bit. And then I'm gonna come up from the ground, bring it up a little on both sides. And it's kind of scribble scrabble right now because I'm just kind of putting in the color. And then this bottom piece here, I'm gonna go across the whole top part of it and bring it down towards the ground. And so for the door, I'm gonna put some underneath this handle. And I'm also gonna put some underneath like this, the little window part of the door. I'm gonna put some under there. And also along the side of the door. So it should roughly look something like that. So you can see where we added. Now you can take the other one and kind of come in and blend it. just to get it blended together. And like I said, it looks like Scribble Scrabble now, but once you play around with it and do exactly what we're doing a couple more times, if you want more blended, a blended look to it, I'm just showing you guys where to put it if you're following along, and you know, roughly what it should look like. And this one I might need to add a little bit more of the dark one. Okay. So what do you guys think? Do you like this color combo? Once I add in the brown, I think it'll look a lot better. I like it. I was really debating between the three, which is why I was like, you know, I'm just going to make all three of them an option for you guys to choose, because you might not like this one. You might like the red one better. You might want to add a red stove. You might, you know, so I just picked the colors and the colors that go well together, and you can choose, you know, what you like. I debated on doing a blue stove. It was so much that I was debating on, and I was like, you know, I'm just kind of gonna go with the flow here, and you know, however it works, it works. I'm just coming in, making the darks a little darker, just so they don't kind of get lost in the background. But at the same time, you can still, just so you can see that there is some shadow. I know I needed some more here because it kind of got lost. So wherever you feel like if it got lost somewhere and it's not dark enough, you can go back. And this is what I was saying about the layers, but I can do this all day long, and I don't want to have the video, you know, super long and we don't have anything done. But this is what I meant when I said going back and just kind of going over it a couple more times and making sure you don't lose your shadows, but at the same time you don't want to make it too dark. That's what I meant. So you can go back and forth, and then again you can even take a white, and if it's too you don't want to, you know, you can come in with your white and you can just blend it with the white, and then it'll blend itself together and you won't have to keep going back and forth. So that's also an option. Okay, so the stove is pretty much done. We're going to come in and do something different for these areas. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the brown looks like, and then we will do that together. So get your brown ochre. Mine is tiny, but don't worry, I have a backup. I mean, it's not tiny yet, but you know, compared to a regular one, you can tell just how much I use it. I use this color a lot in a lot of different combos. Okay, so just making sure you guys can see. And I know I'm trying not to turn the book, but I'm one of those people who will turn the book if I need to. So I hope that doesn't annoy you guys, but I try not to, so you can still see what's going on, but sometimes I can't help it. And I'm just going to put this thing under my arm so that, okay. So light layer coming in with the brown ochre. And just look at that next to that blue. It's so pretty. So we're going to do that. Okay. Same thing with the drawers. Ignore the doorknobs or the drawer knobs because that'll be different as well. Like I said, usually if I want to add like metallics, or if I'm not sure if I want something to be metallic, I will leave it till the end. So I don't know if we'll do it metallic or not, but whatever it is, it won't be brown. So we're going to skip it. Unless you want it to be brown or blue, then you can go ahead and do it brown or blue. but I'm leaning towards something else. I'm not sure what that something else is quite yet, but we will see. Who knows? I might even change my mind and do it blue. So there's, I think, a leg back here to this thing. So I'm going to color that because I think it's a leg. And this here. And so I will do the little cabinet here with you guys. And that cabinet is going to be the same as this other cabinet on the other side. So the only homework that you guys will have today will be this cabinet here. And that's, oh, and I will show you how to do a door and a drawer, and then you can do the other one on your own. So not much homework today, not much homework. Oh, you know what? Actually, you guys, we were supposed to come in with the yellow ochre, but that's okay. I kind of like this. So maybe we'll use the yellow ochre to blend or something. Okay. So anyway, mistakes happen, but we're going to keep going because I like this. It was hiding underneath my Neocolor 2 container and I didn't see it. So we're just going to come in with the dark, but we're going to just light layer where we kind of want it. I'm going to definitely put some underneath. And on the side of this leg here. And then this whole back leg is going to be dark. Because it's completely in the back. And then I'm going to put a little bit down the side of this one because we have this cabinet next to it. And then on the side of this one, because I assume the stove is casting a shadow. I don't know, maybe. It looks nice. Now for the drawers, I'm thinking of doing like kind of how we did the stove and have it in the middle. Have it light in the middle, I'm thinking. So we're just going to bring some from the side and bring some from this side. I wonder what it would look like if I added that yellow ochre in here in the middle. Just a little. But I kind of like this. If you like this, don't worry about adding the yellow ochre. It's fine like this. So it could be another 2-color combo. Usually I do 3-color, but I kind of like this one. So we might leave it like this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you think we should add another color, then let me know. We'll add it next week. But for now, I like the way this is. Okay, so for this top part of the cabinet, let me make sure you guys can see. Underneath the items, we will add some dark, which is almost this whole top cabinet because she's got so much stuff up here. And then we'll come in on the sides here. We'll just add some because it's all dark back there. Okay. Now let's, let me see something here. If I were just to add just a touch of this, let's go in with our brown ochre first. Let's blend in this a little bit. Oh, but I think I like that yellow ochre. Yeah, guys, I think I want to add. Okay, so let's add in some of this yellow. Just go in lightly because I don't want it too yellow. But the yellow does look nice. So we will add a little yellow. You can see how it kind of gives a little yellow tint. So what we can do is we can kind of just go over the whole thing with the yellow and then go back over it with the brown ochre. So go light, just like that. Make sure it's still kind of light. Same thing up here. Just go ahead and add it in if you want to. I mean, if you like the way it looked, the way it was, then you don't have to add it in. But I'm just going to add a touch just so it can have that tint, that nice yellow tint to it. And it'll all make sense later. So I'm just going to add a little, not a lot. And today you don't really hear Mizu because she's actually over there on the ground sleeping. So she decided not to taunt us today with her squeaky toys and her barking and yelling at the neighbors that she does sometimes. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to come back in with the brown ochre just to blend in, because for some reason, okay, there we go. Yeah, just to blend it in. And then we'll come in with the Bistre again, and we'll add the darks back in. And then if it's not dark enough for you, if you want it to be a little darker, you can bring in like a Van Dyke brown or a walnut. I would say Van Dyke because it's a little, it has like a lighter tint than the walnut to me. Okay. Yeah, I like it with the little yellow tint. That's pretty nice. But when I put down this brown ochre, the Bistre kind of disappears. So we're going to come back in with that. This one's a little too yellow. There we go. Okay. And then I missed a little bit here. Okay. Now we're going to come back in with this one, and we're just going to go medium pressure just to bring the dark back because it kind of disappeared a little bit. This little cabinet is so cute. I don't have one of these in my kitchen, but it's kind of cute. I mean, I don't know what I would put in the drawers. Maybe like, I mean, with all this stuff that's in this kitchen, who knows what's in the ones in this picture. But for me, I'd probably put like maybe utensils or like smaller utensils. You know, the ones that's always getting lost in the kitchen somewhere. Like the little measuring spoons and the little stuff like that. Something like that would be nice to go in here. Because she's got the big ones kind of hooked up above the stove. So I would say like something small like that, or you know, like how when you buy a new appliance or something and it comes with a manual book, I would put like those there. So if something goes wrong or if you need like warranty info, it's right there. That would be cool to have in the kitchen, I think. I actually have a drawer in my kitchen with all the stuff like that. So I would probably there we go. So now the darks are back, and then we'll do the same thing up here. It's trial and error, guys. You know how we do it. We try stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you find something better by accident, like we did today. So, you know, it just depends. That's why, you know, there is no real mistakes or real right way to color something. You know, you can follow along with someone, but it'll still be your own. You still want to put your own spin on it, you know, something like that. Okay, and then if you want to, again, you can bring in the white and just blend it all together like so. Ooh, that blended nicely. Or you can use your blender. The white will kind of lighten everything up a little bit. So if you feel like it was too dark, or if you just want it to be a little lighter, you can come in with the white. Or if you're okay with the colors the way they are, the blender will actually make it just a little bit more vibrant. So it just depends on which way you want to go. Blender for a little bit more vibrancy. And I don't know if the blender does that on purpose, but it does it. And I noticed it when I was using mine. I said, oh, it's making it more vibrant. You know, the polychromos aren't, you can make them vibrant, but they're not really vibrant, you know. They're more muted and neutral. But with the blender, it kind of helps it, you know. All right, so that's our cabinet, and let's look what we have so far. So far that's what we have. We're gonna do this little one together. We're at 50. Yeah, we can do this one. This one's gonna be the same color as this brown, this one and this one. And so is the inside of these cabinets. So, I mean, should I assign that for you guys for homework? Because it's really not much. You know, these cabinets will be just like these. I think I'll do the little one with you guys, and then I'll leave you with the big cabinet and the drawers to do for homework. So I lied earlier. You do have a little bit of homework. So let's do this one a little different though. Let's come in with the yellow ochre, but very lightly. And, you know, try to avoid the bottles if you can. Everything else, the whole cabinet, just do it in yellow, this light yellow ochre. And then just best you can, try to avoid these little bottles and knickknacks that she has down here. I know it's a little hard to see, but at least for me it is. It's got a lot going on down here. Okay. We're going to try that. And then we're going to come in. So I know I want the inside, these inside ones to be kind of dark. So we'll come in with the brown ochre. Again, trying to avoid the bottles if we can. So for those of you who have the book, do you have any pages completed yet? Any finished pages? Do you have like a million whips? For me, including this page, I have 3 whips. I have the page that I'm using to test my pencils and stuff on. So I'm counting that as a whip. That's the page where it's right after the lost property office, I think, the one with all the little items in it, on it. So I'm using that as my tester page. So that's a whip. And then I'm also working on, it's like a page with some cakes going around, like a mandala, but with cakes. I'm working on that one as well. I have half of mine to start the bathtub page, but I think I'm going to do that either with you guys or with my Patreons. Well, I don't have any Patreons at the moment, but, you know, that might be on my Patreon page. And that just might be it won't be a color along. It'll probably just be like a color and chat of the month or something. Just to talk and things like that. I don't know if I'll do it on YouTube or Patreon just yet. We'll see. Now for this one, I kind of want to do the thing down the middle again. So I'm just gonna come on the sides here. Actually, I think I'm gonna do it like how I did the cabinet on the other side. So coming from the bottom up and from the top down, leaving a space on the side and also leaving a space in the middle. So we're just gonna, just so that it can have some kind of, you know, it's not just flat. The only time I do like flat coloring is like in my, my J summer books. Even sometimes in there I'll add some shading, or in my any of my Amazon books really, because that paper is atrocious. It doesn't work for me. What else do I do flat coloring in? It's a book specifically I said I was doing flat coloring in, and I don't remember what book it was, but it's probably another Jade Summer book. I don't know. But usually the books with the Amazon paper and things like that, I'll do it. Okay, so there. Now we're going to come in with the darkest. We're going to go dark, and we're going to come up from the bottom. We're going to add some on the side here. And I'm using medium pressure since I know where I want my color already. You can do the same, or if you aren't sure, just, you know, use light pressure and build up. But for the sake of me knowing and for the sake of time, I'm just putting the color in because I know where I want it. Okay. And I think I'm going to put a little bit here on the side too, because this part is, and some from the back underneath the bottom of this flower pots. We'll also have some. And then the cabinet, the further, I'll show you in here in a second, but the further in the back the cabinet is, I think the darker it should be. So I'm going to add some in these shelves too, on the inside of the shelves. So if you can see that the inside of the shelves, the top half of them, I'm adding just some too, because they're in the back. So I feel like they need to be dark. Almost done, guys. I'm really shocked that the video hasn't done what it normally does. It's still going. Okay, so coming in with our medium color and just blending in the dark so that it doesn't look choppy. That's a good word, choppy. We don't want it to look choppy. We want nice blends if we can get them. Sometimes, you know, depending on the color combo, it's hard to get those nice blends, but when we can get them, we want to get them. That's for sure. So I'm just blending in. Medium pressure is what I'm using. You can use light pressure and build them up. I'm also going to fade this out because I want to add some more of that yellow ochre, but I don't want too much of it. So I'm just going to fade this brown out a little bit. And then these other shelves, what the stuff is sitting on, you can have those kind of light, or you can use the brown ochre and color them in like I'm doing right now. Or you can leave them with that light yellow ochre. I'm going to do mine a little brown. Okay. Now come back in with your light yellow ochre and get those side blends. And anywhere you want that nice yellow tint. I'm not going to go all the way across because I'm going to use my blender or my white to bring that color out for me. Ooh, let's add some in the bottom of this shelf. You see that? I'm going to add some there too. And then, you know, a little bit across here because we kind of want the yellow tint, but we don't want it yellow. We just want a nice tint for the brown. So wherever you want that yellow, you can go all the way across if you want. I'm not going to go all the way across, but I will add some, just enough, because I kind of want all the wood grain to match. So at least for the cabinets, right? And then we're going to bring in our white or our blender. I'm going to use white and just go over. You can go over just the light areas. If you already have a nice blend, just go over the light areas. If you don't and it's still a little, you know, patchy, then you can go over the whole thing, blender pen or white. I think I got a good blend, so it's good enough anyway, except for right here is a little patchy. Let me come in with some brown ochre a little bit and just blend it up. There we go. And then this part I'm going to bring in a little bit more yellow. All right. And then back with the white. Okay. Now, look at that. That's a cute cabinet. And then this one's going to also be brown with the brown. So it's going to look nice. Now remember to leave this blank unless you want to, you know, have the buttons and stuff a certain color. But what I was thinking, I have like some, like let me see if I can find it. the Arteza acrylic marker, and it has like it has when it dries, it has like a shiny kind of look to it. So I was thinking of using that for the buttons and the handle of the stove. And if you have like a what is it, the jelly roll glaze in black, that works too. Or if you have a black marker, and then you can add something kind of like I have some gloss gel medium or some glossy accents over the marker, and then it'll appear glossy. So that's also another way if you don't have the acrylic pen. We're just going to make it look glossy. That's what I was thinking, so that's why I skipped the buttons and the handle. So your homework, sorry for that glare, this light, it leaves a glare sometimes. Okay, so for your homework, this cabinet will be brown. So whatever wood grain you're using, because this is the combo that I'm doing. Now, if you're using this one, so where there's blue, yours will be red. And then where there is the wood grain, this is the colors you're going to be using, and this is your stove options. Same thing with the green. The green will be where the blue is, and this is your wood grain options for this combo, and then your stove options. So let me know down in the comments what combo you guys think is gonna work for you. This is the one that's working for me, and I actually like how it's working so far. I'm gonna go ahead and do the background and not the background, this cabinet and the cabinet drawers. And then next week we'll do the background, the floor. We might as well knock these windows out too. And if you guys want to go even further, these shelves, you can do them in your wood grain, which is what I think I'll do. So the shelves, you can knock those out. So all by next week, this cabinet should be done. And if you're doing the shelves, then do them in the wood grain. That's what I'm going to do too. So we're not, it's not a lot when you think about it. Because next week we're going to do the windows, the background, the floor, and probably these rugs. Probably the rugs. I don't have an idea for the rugs, but by next week I should have something. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. This one was a little long, but that's okay. We're working our way. And I will see you guys next week once you have your homework all finished, or if you're just hanging out waiting on me to finish mine and post the next part. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet, and you made it to the end, like I said in the last video, hit the like button if you enjoyed yourself, if you enjoyed the video, if you're enjoying the color along, or if you're enjoying me rambling, which is I end up doing half the time. Go ahead and hit the like button. It helps me. It helps others find my channel. It helps, get the video out there. Might be someone out there looking for a color in chat, a color along. Mine is a little bit of both because I talk and color along with you guys. So go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed yourself. So this is what we have. This was last week's homework. This is what we have today. And I will see you guys next week for the background, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.